You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.
What's up, y'all? We are here with another episode of BoomBox Weekly, and we have the one, the only, dear Silas. I ain't stressing today. Hey, I ain't stressing today. I'm Gentel, Sharrie.
And I'm Adonis, Armstrong. And like she said, dear Silas, one of Jackson's own, been rapping since 2016. One of the best down there right now. You know what I'm saying? Silas, what's up, man?
Man, nothing, man. Chilling. Just working as usual. Happy to be here. Thank y'all for having me on, man. Excited to talk.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So we were doing a little research. You have been real successful in your music career, and now you're about to head to France. Can you tell us about the tour?
Yeah, man. Great opportunity. My first time performing overseas, so I'm kind of curious to see what it's gonna be like. I also been thinking about what I'm gonna eat, you know what I'm saying? Because I'm from the South, and I'm just curious to see what this French cuisine gonna be like for the next 30 days. So that's cool. But yeah, man, I teamed up with this guy, this French trumpeter named Ibrahim Malouf, and actually been on tour with him before in the States. But we kind of connected a little while back, and he invited me to come on this tour with him. So it's gonna be dope, man. We hitting a whole bunch of spots in France, of course, Paris. And also some arena dates too. So that's going to be dope, man. Just getting to perform for thousands and thousands of people. So I'm excited about that too.
I already know, being from Jackson, going overseas, it's going to be a whole culture shock.
Yeah.
So I know, how did you guys link up for going to the tour? Like, how did you guys connect, to come together to go to the tour?
Yeah. So he reached out to me on Instagram actually a little while ago, and he just told me he was a fan of what I did, and we actually worked on a record together, and then we did that record together, and then then we did he invited me to go on tour with him in the stateside last year sometime, maybe around this time last year, and it just kind of evolved into what it is right now, which is heading over to tour in France, because he's not from France, but he's French. He's from Beirut, but yeah, he's super huge in Europe, and he was like, man, he invited me to come over there with him. So and it's really dope because I got a lot of support in Europe too. So now I actually get to get in front of those people versus just them just hearing my music and seeing me online.
Okay. What does your preparation look like going into the tour?
Right now, a lot of cardio. Because just any tour, I do pretty much the same routine, man. Just try to change up my eating habits a little bit and just get more cardio in, because man, I don't think artists get enough recognition for we athletes too, because being on stage and you doing like an hour set, and especially for the type of show I give, I go completely live. Like I don't really use backing vocals, anything like that, because I want to give a different experience for the people who come to the shows. Otherwise, I feel like if I'm just rapping over everything, you can just listen. You can hear that in the car, or wherever you listen to music at. So yeah, I just do a lot of cardio, do a lot of running, walking, running while rapping, to get my wind up and make sure I'm good. But yeah, right now, I'm trying to learn some French, so I'm.
Oui.
Yeah, that's about all I know right now. So so don't ask me but I'm trying to get some basics or whatever, or I'm gonna be using a lot of translation apps or whatever.
Yeah. So, yeah. Speaking of being an athlete, what sport did you play? I know it's off topic, but what sport did you play?
Yeah, I played baseball for a small second. I'm talking about my last 2 years of high school or whatever, and I couldn't tell you nothing about none. I was like, man, I got to play a sport before I get out of here. Yeah. And I tried out for the baseball team, made it, and man, yeah, it was a little nerve wracking because sometimes I'd be out in left field, and it's like, man, the ball come to you and they count on you, you want to catch it. So anyway, I played baseball just for a little second, but other than that, man, I just been just music my whole life.
Okay.
Yeah.
So speaking of music, I know I was talking earlier about your single, I Ain't Stressin Today. I saw Snoop is on the remix.
Yes, man. Shout out to Snoop, man. I'm excited about that. We just dropped that out just a couple of weeks ago. But yeah, man, he blessed me with the verse, man, and I'm just ecstatic over it. Like I don't even know if I could tell like my 10-year-old self, like, hey man, you gonna have a song with Snoop, one day. I would believe myself. I probably wouldn't have. But that's definitely a lifelong dream, to be able to work with, one of your inspirations. So yeah, I'm just happy about it.
Like, how did you reach, like you reached out, like your PR publicist agent reached out to him and he got back with you? Or how was that connection bonded for him to be on the remix?
It was actually the same way as how I got connected, with this tour. Snoop DM me. He hit me up and he was like, hey, I like the record. And I was like, appreciate it. He's like, you need to let me get on the remix. And I was like, hell yeah, like what you mean? I need to let you. I'm like, yeah, let's do it, So he was like, bet, send it to me. So I sent him the record. He got it back in a couple of days, just like that. So that was like, a blessing again. Imagine like because what happened was I was promoting the record as I usually do, and just finding different ways to just, get the song bigger and whatnot. And Snoop reposted one of those videos that I was promoting, and then the DM came after that. So I think he discovered the song from like one of my videos or whatever, and then he reached out that way.
I mean, that's dope to have Snoop on your record. Like, that's crazy, and for him to reach out, congratulations on that.
Yeah, thank you, appreciate it.
How would you say, because you've been around music your whole life, how do you feel you got your sound for the music? Because you do have a specific sound. I mean, it's a dope sound, but how did you come up with it?
I think first off, a lot of living, because it took me a long time to kind of figure out, the space that I'm currently in. I think just trying a lot of different things, but also just being deeply rooted in a family with musicians. Like everybody in my house did something. Like my dad was a sax player, my mom and my sister played clarinet, and we listened to everything, every single thing, every genre. Pop, rock, country, hip hop, R&B, whatever. And I think me just nostalgia, plays a huge factor in what I do, and just really staying in touch with my inner child and not letting go of that, just because I feel like, when you're a kid, fear isn't a thing in regards to certain things. And I feel like the child version of you, it sometimes will go after stuff that the adult version of you won't, because of, a fear and things maybe possibly not working out. And I just always want to keep that inside of me, like just the courage to try new things, or just be vulnerable and not, let certain things hold me back.
That's dope. You always have to keep your inner child, because like you said, if you don't, you will be scared to do anything. But you are fearless when it comes to creating things. How do you come up with your visuals, when you're doing your music videos? Because I know you got a song with Big Crit and you got the sonic boom in the background.
Yeah.
So like, how do you come up with your visuals?
Yeah, so the visuals, it just depends. Like for the most part, I'm already thinking about the visuals when I'm in the booth, like when I'm rapping it, like if I'm coming up with a line, I'm thinking that everything is like connected for me. If I'm rapping some, or I'm writing some, or I'm in the booth already, I'm thinking about like what the visual gonna look like, or how it's gonna come across as doing a live performance. Or, I'll sometimes even phrase things differently because I was like, I wanted to hit different at a show, I wanted to hit it. I wanted to hit hard everywhere equally. Mm-hmm. And yeah, I'm just kind of a guy who like, I think about the whole spectrum of everything. So like, yeah, if I'm like saying a line, I'll be like, I might in the notes while I'm writing or something, I might put in parentheses down, oh, for this specific line, I want to do this in a scene for a video. And also, I got an amazing team who also, they help to bring, like these visuals and my visions together, so we all kind of just, sit down and powwow, on things and make it happen. But I think, like the visual aspect is just, I think every aspect of creation is important. because people discover you in different mediums. You know, some people might see a video, some people might see you live, and some people might hear the record. So I just want to make sure, you know, I'm 10 toes down in each one of those aspects, you know, to make sure I'm giving exactly what needs to be given the first time around.
Okay. So you have your sound, you have your visuals. How was it creating your other single, Gullah Gullah Island, and then seeing Chad Ochocinco post it on his social media?
Man, that's probably one of the craziest experiences. I was at work at the time. I used to work at the Apple store. And I remember I posted this visual and I wrote in my notes, I was like, this is gonna go viral. And I put the time and date next to it. And you know, and I went to sleep and I didn't think nothing else about it. And then I woke up the next morning, I went to work and I was working with a customer, I was selling the phone or something like that. And one of my coworkers came with me and they was like, hey, look, and they showed me the phone and it was like Ocho Cinco. And I was like, what? And so I left my customer in the middle of the store. I was like, look, I got to go handle something real quick. I explained later. I never explained, but like I just went to the back of the store and went crazy. I was running around like, I can't believe this. And I was like, but I can't believe it because I said it was gonna happen. And, you know, I just didn't know how it was gonna happen. But yeah, that was a crazy day. So yeah, shout out. And I think I reached out to him like maybe, I wouldn't say like recently, but at least maybe like a year or so ago. It'd be like, hey man, I appreciate that. And he was like, no doubt. You know what I'm saying? Because like that really, really changed a lot of stuff for me. Like just that one tweet.
Yeah, you never know who's listening to your music. Like you have to be yourself when you making your music because it brings your true fans. You don't want to overdo it. You know, some people they try to, you know, reach out to get a certain audience, but the true audience will make other audience come to your music. And like Chad Ochocinco and Snoop Dogg coming to you and also going to the tour because they mess with your music. Right. Speaking of your music, I remember it was a very viral song, Skr Skr. When you was writing it, did you realize it was going to be such a viral song?
Yeah, I knew it. Okay, so I didn't and I did. That record also came. I was still working at Apple at the time, and my producer who worked with me, who produced that song, his name is Flywalker. It was like a slow day at work or something. It might have been like, I don't know, whatever one of them holidays everybody barbecue on. They just won the 4th of July. I don't know, but nobody was coming through. So I was like chilling in the back. He was like, hey, check out this song, check out this beat I made. And I was like, bet. So I'm listening to it and I just started freestyling to it or whatever. And then I don't know, and it was just a joke, you know, nothing serious. And I was like, I'm gonna pull up on you. And then I was like, skr, skr. And my DJ who also worked with me, he came in and he's like, oh, on the second time, you gotta run it down, you gotta go skr, skr. And I was like, yeah, I like that. And you know, I just kept singing it. And before you knew it, like it started out with like 3 people in the room. Next thing you know, like 30 of my coworkers in the room and everybody was singing it, you know, and it wasn't even a real song yet. And boom, that was it. So I left work. I ain't think nothing else about it. Cause you know, we do that all the time. We come up with stuff on the fly, you know, you may write it out or not, or you may not. I came back to work the next morning. One of my coworkers, she was like humming to herself. And she was still humming the song the next morning. She's like, and I was like, you know what? Damn, I need to go make this a real song because she's still thinking about it. Mm-hmm. So I went ahead and I made a demo. And I was like, I'm gonna try to get this in the hands of like Chris Brown, Ty Dolla $ign, somebody like that, you know, because typically it wasn't like the type of music I would make for myself, you know, because it's a fun record. But I was like, I want to get this to like somebody like, you know, who do R&B. And I was done with my album, The Last Cherry Blossom at the time, which was slated to release, you know, maybe in about a month or so. And my manager at the time, he was like, hey, you got to keep that one. That got to go on the album. So it was literally the last record to go. And it was never meant to be on The Last Cherry Blossom. It made it at the very last second. And then a week after I dropped the album, that's the song that went viral. You know,
shout out to the co-workers, man. Cause
right.
You know what I'm saying? They like, nah, you got to put that on the album, bro. So shout out to the co-workers and the team.
Love.
I mean, it seems like you honestly had like a lot of memorable moments during your career. Like Adonis was saying, like Snoop Dogg, Chad Ochocinco. What has like kept you inspired by seeing those like people that are influential? You know, see your work. What keeps you motivated through your journey?
Aside from like those, I mean, that they definitely keep me motivated because it's always great to get like you know, some acknowledgement for people you look up to. Like even like Missy Elliott was a huge one for me. Like she reached out before and was telling me like, man, I love what you're doing, keep going. And I was like, that, you know, I ran out in the middle of the street that day and I almost got hit by a car because I couldn't like real life, like I almost got hit by a car because I couldn't believe she said something to me. But other than that, you know, it's the supporters, it's the people. It's the people that champion me, that keep me going and doing what I want to do because of the support and the love they put back into what I do. That I get like so many different types of messages, you know, shared with me all the time, and people just, you know, just really sharing like, you know, super personal things like, you know, I wanted to take my life, but I didn't because this helped me, or I wanted to, you know, this helped me keep going and I landed this job, you know, this place I always wanted to work in, or this helped me through my pregnancy. It's just so many things, you know, and when people share that with me, because people, they don't have to tell you those types of things, but I really dig my community because I feel like we have this close knit relationship where I feel like I can be human with them and they accept me for who I am. And in return, I try to be as vulnerable as I can. So like the people help me, you know, motivate me to keep going and doing what I'm doing and to keep the music as authentic as possible.
Yeah, that's really good. Where do you see your career in the next couple of years?
I was gonna say doing a huge arena with like 30,000-40,000 people, but we're gonna be doing that next month. So now I gotta figure out something else. That was really one of my, you know, it's crazy. Sometimes you have these goals and God will put it right in front of you and you kind of forget that that's something that you was asking for once upon a time and it's happening now. So I just want to say like, I thank you. I'm appreciative for that, you know, 'cause you just really forget as a human being and, you know, when you're in pursuit of so many things in front of that. But I would say, man, really, I want to see myself figuring out how to take what I do and help more people, you know, not only through music but through mental health, you know, some sort of foundation, and just keep on like being able to deliver the message I'm doing, but also become more knowledgeable about, you know, those things like mental health and stress and you know, things that'll help keep motivating people. My thing is I just want people to know that they can do whatever it is they want to do, you know, in life. And also just to be okay with being you, and you are like the only version of you and nobody else is like you.
We're going to take a quick break to give a shout out to our proud sponsors, 24/7.
We are back from commercial break with BoomBox Weekly. We have Dear Silas on the show with us today. He's been dropping a lot of gems. Silas, I have to ask you, how did you come up with your name? Was it, you know, is Dear Silas was someone writing to you? Like, I always just wondered.
Man, you almost like right on top of it. Like, so my government name is Silas. That's my real name. I'm named after my dad. I had, you know, some previous rap names, and I kind of got back to Silas because I made a transition in my life where I wanted to kind of rebrand and start over. And I remember you mentioning like earlier, just really, making stuff that's true to you and people will kind of find you and gravitate towards you. I can't say I was always doing that from the beginning. I think, and that's why I was kind of saying like me just trying to find myself, and find my sound. Earlier on in my career, I think I was making music for everybody except for myself. I was like, I need to make a record for the club. I got to make a record for the ladies. I got to make a record for the streets and blah, 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 trying to satisfy everybody else. And I'd make projects and I would do like 15 songs. And like out of those 15 songs, I would like squeeze in 2 at the end of the project that was truly, meaningful for me and what I was going through and what I like. And it wasn't until like somebody was like, man, I love your project, but man, them last 2 songs, like they was like fire. Like, why you just don't like make songs like that? And I was like, damn, so you mean to tell me you would like it if I just made the music that I like to make throughout the whole thing? And that's when I kind of realized, like, why you trying to pander to everybody except for yourself. And I kind of made the decision to say, I'm just I'm gonna do what I want to do what I like. And the people who like it, they'll come. They'll, and I'll speak to them and solely to them. And it started out, like I had changed my rap name to Silas, which is my real name, but I added the deer because, like you said, I feel like it was me writing to myself because ultimately I'm trying to motivate myself at the end of the day, and whoever else can get something from that, I'm grateful for that. But it's kind of like one of those things where you can't really like pour into somebody else unless your cup is filled first. I want to make sure, I'm full, and motivated before I can distribute that to other people.
Okay. I know you worked with a lot of legends, heard a lot of legends, talked to a lot of legends in the music industry. Who has been one of your favorite persons to work with? I know you work with a lot, but who has like been your favorite?
I'm gonna switch it up a little bit.
Okay.
As far, I won't say worked with, but I would probably say one of the dopest conversations I've ever had, one of the most surprising conversations. I was doing a promo tour maybe like 2019, and I stopped in Dallas and I went by this radio station. Shout out to Bebe. He the big DJ in Dallas. And he asked me a question. He was like, man, who you want to work with in the industry? And I was like, man, I don't know. He's like, everybody know who they want to work with. And I was like, I don't know. I was like Chance the Rapper. I was like Offset. And I was like Kirk Franklin. And he was like, hold on. So he pulled his phone out and he dialed a number. And he was like, hey, this baby, tell Kirk I'm trying to holler at him real quick. And it was Kirk's assistant. And she's like, he's in a meeting right now. Can he call you back later? He's like, yeah, tell him call me back. And that was it. I went back to my hotel, went to sleep, and then I got a call the next morning and woke up, and it was Bebe. He was like, wake up, and I'm just like, because I'm not a morning person. I'm just like, I don't know, what's up? He was like, remember I asked you who you want to work with? And I was like, yeah. He's like, say them names again. And I was like, I'm trying to remember. I'm like, Chance, Offset. He's like, who's the last person? I was like, Kirk Franklin. And then all of a sudden I know it. Hello, my brother. This is Kirk. Baby has told me so many things about you. I am very humbled, brother. I listened to your music and it was beautiful. And I'm so proud of the things that you are doing in life, young brother. And I'm over here on the other side in the bed. I'm going crazy. Like I had to put the phone. I was like, and I'll be like, oh yeah, that's what's up, man. Appreciate it. I'm like, nah, thank you. I'm humble, dog. So that was like that was a huge moment for me, man. Just being able to just speak on the phone, man, with Kirk, and I keep that with me every day, when I'm making music, almost as a reminder, like, man, sometimes the things in life we think are like so like far away are so possible, and they are in incredible reach, and you just don't know it until you open your mouth and speak them or just say them. Sometimes that's all it takes is you just to say something out loud, and then this thing that you thought was like impossible, it's in arm's length. It's right there. So
facts. I was like literally just talking to one of my friends the other day. Because, I feel like when you're coming up in the industry at first, you're scared to ask or you're scared to say something because you don't know how it's going to be perceived. But closed mouths don't get fed at the end of the day. And like you said, it's just in your reach. Like if you know somebody who has that connect and you putting in the work, just ask. You just never know like what could happen.
Absolutely.
It is bad. Have you had any challenges that you had to overcome? If so, how did you overcome them?
Man, we had tons of challenges. I'm trying to think of one significant one. Can I talk about that one? I don't even know, man. I mean, we have challenges every day, man. I would say, I don't know if I could just speak to one particular challenge, but I can say that I think if you just really, and it might sound cliche, but if you just really keep the faith and just keep moving, even when it seems impossible, the things that, like, I remember times where we be like, man, I don't know how we gonna get this or how we gonna do that or how we gonna make this shake. And then we laugh about it like 6 months, like, man, we were so worried about that. You saw how easy it was to do that, or we just because we just kept doing what we were supposed to do and staying locked in, and it happened, But yeah, I can't think of one particular thing that was, because it's tons of stuff, especially just being I would say this. I'll say anytime I drop a body of work, I always get in my head about like, how am I going? Okay, how I'm gonna do better now? How I'm gonna evolve from this, or how I'm gonna get to this next step? Like this did so great. Like I remember Gullah Gullah Island going viral, and I'm like, how can I do that again? Or will I be able to do that again? And it happened again. And Skirt happened. I was like, how am I gonna be able to do that again? And then I ain't stressing that they happen, And I now I use those tools like to just remind myself, like, man, your purpose is your purpose, and what is meant for you is meant for you. And if it's supposed to happen, it's gonna happen. And not to just go like looking for those types of moments, but just to do what you're supposed to do. Like, we got this thing where we say like every piece of the puzzle matters. Like don't look at the whole puzzle. Just work on putting down one piece at a time. And eventually you'll be able to see the bigger picture. But until then, even when it seems like this piece is a little bit insignificant, it's not as important as this piece over here in the corner, just throw that piece in there because it's all, it's going to be instrumental to the whole piece, whole puzzle, if you will. But yeah.
It looks like you have some big pictures coming up in 2024. I know you just recently posted about some new work. You're about to be releasing all new stuff, all 2024. So can you talk about that?
Yeah, man. I just kind of felt like I wanted to, I'm normally really secretive about what I do. Like, I think like we really pride ourselves on how we market stuff over here and how we put it out. And I always wanted to be super special and secretive and have this build up. But I just want to let people know, like I'm coming from the jump, 2024, and I'm claiming a lot of things beforehand. I'm not gonna wait until January. I'm gonna say like right now. But I think like normally, I really want to. This isn't even like a for everybody type of thing. This is just me saying I really want to service the supporters and the fans who support Dear Silas. Like I want to give y'all something. Whoever comes along, cool, extras or whatever. But I really want to feed my people. So yeah, 2024, I plan on dropping a lot more music because normally I probably drop something like every 2 years. It's kind of like how, I used to do back in the day. Like you might, your favorite artist will drop a record and you might not hear from them like 2-3 years, but like music is wild now, like people, the market is a little saturated. I ain't saying I'm going to be dropping like a record every week and nothing like that because I still don't believe in that, but definitely a lot more than I normally do.
I see you started rapping in 2016, and the project is called The Day I Died. Is that the day like you transformed yourself to just making music for yourself?
That's exactly what it means. Yeah, because I've been making music for a really long time, and that was my first project, I would say, under the name of Silas. well, I had a mixtape that came out that kind of transitioned me into that, but that was like, okay, but that was more of a mixtape, me rapping on other people's records. But that was like the first full body of like, this is what it sounds like when I do exactly what I want to do, under no influence of anybody else or me trying to please other people or doing what I think is popular on the radio or in the clubs right now. This is just me solely just saying like, this is what I think my music should sound like. And so, yeah, the day I died is like the story of really me. It's like my journey. You listen to the album, is me from a kid all the way up into the present time of that time period, and me like growing up, you know, like growing up bullied and picked on and whatnot, and then figuring out, oh, if I switch this around and I do this, I'll become popular, and then achieving popularity, but at the same time becoming exactly what I didn't, I shouldn't have been, like becoming the people who were, disrespectful to me, and then kind of flipping it again and, and growing up a little bit more and evolving into who I was in the present, day, which is Silas, trying to just getting back to me.
Yeah. Okay. Is it anything else like you would want to share with the people? I know they're going on tour, got some projects coming into 2024. Is it anything else? Tell people where to find you in the socials, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah, most definitely. Thank God I got the same name on every social media platform. That's a blessing because everybody ain't blessed, to have that. So it's Dear Silas on all platforms. That's DEAR SILAS. You can check out my website, www.dear-silas.com. Grab you some merch, get you some CDs, get you some hoodies, get you some tees, stickers, and all that good stuff right there. My latest project is Giving Self-Love, which features the single I Ain't Stressin Today. It is out on all streaming platforms, wherever you listen to music, Spotify, Apple, Tidal, Amazon, wherever, it's there. And yeah, obviously new music coming real soon. A lot of new visuals coming real soon. And, possibly some more features. I don't do a lot of those, but, we'll see. So, yeah.
Well, nice. We had Dear Silas in the building today. Thank you for coming on the show. I am Gentel, Sharrie.
And I'm Adonis, Armstrong. And we out.
Appreciate it.
You're listening to BoomBox Weekly.